Hi guys, welcome to the channel. So, hope you're all staying healthy out there. And today, I keep seeing this brand floating around called Vorsk. And it's not a company I've ever really had any product from before. I know nothing about them, if I'm honest, other than they seem to be distributed by Newprol. But they make pistols. So, I thought it'd be good to get a hold of one and have a look and see what the fuss is all about. Because I've heard a few people raving about them, saying how much they like them. So, let's have a look at one. So today we are going to have a look at the VPX. Now this has just come out, this is new to the market, and it's basically a 1911 with a little bit of a twist. So it's sealed up, we're going to open it up and we're going to have a look and see exactly what's inside the box. Okay, so this is how it comes in this nice shiny box. It's got a sleeve on the front with these stickers on, so let's get it out of there. I'll just do that off camera. Okay, so there we go. And here is your box. So let's open this up. So we have got a manual, which is actually, I say a manual, it's just literally a folded piece of A4 card with some instructions on. And we have a blown up diagram, or a diagram of it in its component parts, which everyone who watches this channel know I like. It's always a good thing. We have a patch. We have a couple of nozzles actually. So we've got CO2 nozzle. We've got a gas nozzle. We've got an Allen key. What else is in there? Okay, so we've got a bag of O-rings. We've got this CO2 nozzle and we've got a gas nozzle. Now I'm assuming that must be a different power nozzle because obviously it's already gas. We've got our Allen key. We have a magazine. Actually a damaged box. Typical 1911 looking magazine. And we have the pistol itself even. That is in there tight. Okay, so you're going to break the box when you get it out. And we have the pistol itself. Here it is, a 1911. Now, a little bit different. A couple of things that are slightly different to a normal one. It looks on the surface to begin with, it looks like an A1, but it has in fact got a few differences. Nice big oily print, fingerprint there. That's actually from me. So we have this compensator on the front. It has sort of a MEU style slide on it with the raised sights, the skeletonized hammer. We have the typical beaver tail on the back, typical of a 1911. No rail though, like you would have on an MEU. And we have this giant compensator on the front. Now, first things first, compensators in airsoft do absolutely nothing, but they look quite cool. We have a checkered grip on the back there. We have checkered plastic grips on the side with the Vorsk symbol on there. We have our usual 1911 style mag release. Black furniture. This is a two-tone version, so it comes in this tan with black accents. It also comes in several other colours actually, so it comes in black and silver. It comes in like brushed aluminium finish, almost looks stainless, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Quite oily. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. And we've got our little 0.45 ACP on the chamber. So if we pull this back, we can see we have our blue loading nozzle in there, and we have silver finished barrels, and this is like an anodized finished. So it's all aluminium parts, the slide, the frame. It feels like these are aluminium, the safety, and the slide release. We have this drilled 1911 style trigger, which is quite nice, and all in all it feels pretty decent. It has got a bit of a wobble to it. One thing I did notice, there's quite a lot of wobble on the outer barrel and the compensator at the front there, so it's not going to be a super precision job, but it doesn't always matter with a sidearm. It's usually for close range anyway. So all in all, pretty cool. We have these raised sights, which are pretty funky. give you a better sight picture. But I noticed they're not actually painted. So when you do look down there, it's not the clearest. If it's a little bit dull, it would be good if these were a bit brighter, but you can always do that yourself, so it's not the end of the world. With this, we have our 1911 magazine. Anyone who's had a 1911 will recognise this. It looks virtually the same. It's almost like a Tokyo Marui copy of a magazine, really. They all pretty much look the same. So a magazine there, no wobble, it's nice and tight. So yep, feels good. Press the button, no, it doesn't drop free. Oh yeah, it does, just a little bit stiff. Okay, so I'd say that probably needs to work in. So we'll put a little bit of gas in here and we'll give it a shot and see what it's like. Okay, so here we go. Mag in, cock it. Obviously it's going to lock back because it's empty. We are dry firing here before YouTube gets upset. And there you go. Cool. So if we hold that down, that has got a nice sound to it. That is a really loud gas blowback pistol. And the mag drops out. So yeah, actually, oh, that's interesting. So it's more willing to drop out with the slide back. No, it's not. Okay, so first impressions. I like this. This is really nice. I am partial to a 1911. Some of them are better than others. I've had the little CO2 one. I can't remember who made it, that I've reviewed, ages and ages ago when the channel first started. That's actually broken, or the mag's broken on it. I've never got around to replacing it. I had several Tokyo Marui 1911s and really didn't get on with them. They just didn't work well. The mags were always problematic, and it used so much gas that you'd never get to the end of a magazine of BBs. I once bought one. Okay, going on a bit of a story here. I once bought one that had been fully upgraded with Garda frame and everything, and I bought it, thought this is going to be good, and when I got hold of it, it wasn't worth the sum of its parts. It was a piece of junk, so I ended up stripping it down and using the parts elsewhere, so except for the frame, which I've got knocking around here somewhere. And yeah, so I've never really had a long-lasting 1911, so I'm hoping this one will go on for a bit longer. Now with any 1911, when you cock it, obviously it holds back on your slide lock. But also, usually with these, you can't do anything with them, or with the safety, until it's cocked. So that's when the safety comes in, and you can't cock it and you can't pull the trigger. Also, you have the beaver tail at the back that needs to be depressed to actually fire it. With this one, I've noticed though, when it is like that, you can push the safety up to an extent. It goes halfway, which means you can't cock the actual slide. So a little bit different. I've not come across that before. I'm not sure if it's on purpose or whether it's just a bit of slack in the actual safety lever, but either way it does it. And then obviously when it's cocked, it goes into the full up position and you can't fire it, you can't push the beaver tail down or anything like that, so it just keeps it on safe. So cool. So what we're going to do now, we'll go into the other room and we'll strip it down and have a look and see what it's made up of. Okay, so if you've ever seen a 1911 come apart before, it's actually very easy. You basically pull this back, release it until this little notch here lines up, and then you hold the slide in place, go over the other side and push out the slide release, and when you let go of it, it just comes apart. Very normal looking lower to this 1911. A lot of like the cheap aluminium Mazak, I think it's called, something like that. Pretty standard for airsoft guns that aren't as expensive as others. So this is £130, so it's not a top line really high priced airsoft gun, but for the money it's actually a really nice nice looking piece of kit. Like I say, this stuff is very lightweight. It's not the heaviest duty of aluminium, but you know what, it's for the price, it's no problem at all. It's not going to cause you any issues. Okay, so this looks very much like a Tokyo Marui clone. So that is your typical sort of hop unit. We'll pop that apart in a second, but there's your hop adjustment. So this is a gun that you'll have to take the slide off to actually adjust the hop. So this outer barrel has an insert, which is here. So you could technically put a suppressor on there. I wouldn't advise it because there is a lot of slack in the barrel. So obviously instead of this compensator, which screws on the end, like so. That is basically taking the place of what would be a suppressor. So that is essentially what is on the end. Now you could put a suppressor on. That's what I've got here. So technically that would work. Personally, I wouldn't bother because it's going to cause so much slack and it's going to wobble around all over the place. It's going to be a real pain in the backside, but I will show you that afterwards. You can do it, but personally I don't think it's a good idea. So it is your aluminium outer barrel. We have our nozzle in there. I'm not sure what power it's putting out yet. We'll chrono it in a bit. Very standard looking internals. I say standard looking, it's what you would expect from a 1911. But for the price, great, no problems at all. It looks very similar to a Tokyo Marui. So here we are, stripped down, and this is essentially entirely based on a Tokyo Marui design. It's the old Tokyo Marui design of 1911. Say old, it's probably the present one as well, but it's common. So basically you have your nozzle, you have your piston, you have a spring in the top here that sits in there, and it's all locked in the back of the slide. So that is a really good thing because it makes it compatible with lots of aftermarket parts if you want. In fact, over here, so this is a Garda piston and carriage or cage, whatever you want to call it, and this is a Tokyo Marui nozzle. So yeah, all exactly the same. It's literally identical. So this is all good because it means it's compatible with lots of aftermarket parts. Nice big flared piston on there, so it's all good so far, no problems at all. So what we'll do is give it a clean down as usual and then just put it back together, and then we'll have a look at the hop up and the barrel. Okay, so the hop's apart. We've got this plate that presses down. So it's like a split plate with a gap in between. And we've got a very standard hot rubber. It's just a VSR 10 style black hot rubber with just a completely normal nub inside, and a brass barrel, which is, measure it, 112 mil long. So yep, let's have a look what the size of this is. .8. Okay, I find that hard to believe that it's 7.1, 6.7, 6.9, 7 mil. That seems a big bore barrel. So I think this, let's just say this is not a tight bore barrel. So I think if you're going to do anything to this pistol, it would probably benefit from a tight bore barrel in it. But other than that, so far, so good. Now, this pistol's not going to be super accurate because it's got a real wobbly, let's say real, it's got a lot of movement in the outer barrel, which in turn means a lot of movement on the inner barrel. But again, it's a pistol, it's a sidearm, it's short ranges, so I shouldn't worry about that too much. But let's get back together. We'll have a bit of a shoot with it and a chrono, and I'll give my final impression. So, if you really want to take the compensator off the front, you can, and you can fit yourself a suppressor on there, and it does work. You know, it will work. It will operate. So there you go. You can fit a great big suppressor on. However, I wouldn't personally do that because I think it sort of ruins the whole aspect of it. The thing is with a suppressor on something like this is you're going to compromise your accuracy because it's a big weight to be sat on it, and it's possible that it may not cycle as well with one on there. So I personally don't like suppressors on pistols that much unless it's a Mark 23. So we'll get that off there because it's taking the spacer out. We'll put the compensator back on, and of course you can run it like that with no compensator or anything on. But then that sort of defeats the point of buying this gun because that is sort of a big part of it. So we'll get this back together and we'll give it a bit of a shoot. Okay, so I've just filled this up with gas and it's still cold, and we'll see how many shots we get out of this. So we'll have that's 10. It still looks back. So 16, probably 15 shots that actually do anything. So it's a bit cold, but that's not a huge amount. But you know what? It's a 1911. I always struggle to get anything out of these. So I imagine if we keep using this, it will eventually bed in a little bit better. So I've got 21 rounds in here. So we'll put it through the chrono now. So bearing in mind there's 21 rounds and we only got 15 shots out, we'll see if it beds in and gets a little bit better. So I'll fill this up with gas and we'll fire all those through the chrono. Okay guys, so I've just had this outside for a go at a target. And in fairness, it's getting quite dark now. It is getting quite dark, and I couldn't see incredibly well towards the target. But at 20 meters, it didn't perform brilliant. So we got, as you can see, we got here, 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 and the rest were just off the side of the target. All in all, the grouping was around probably 12 inches maximum. So not an amazing grouping, but it certainly easily hit a man-sized target up to about 30 meters, I'd say. Beyond that, you're pushing it. But then you can, it's upgradable to Tokyo Marui part. So if you really wanted to go for it, you could. But just bear in mind with that barrel wobble, you're always going to be limited to what you can do. But certainly as a sidearm, perfectly acceptable, because if you're firing sort of beyond 25 meters, then you're going beyond really the idea of a sidearm. It's mainly better for backup, or if you're playing CQB, then it's absolutely fine. The good news is I filled up with gas and fired all 21 shots and still had gas left over. So it was a little bit of braking, I think, just to get it going. I refilled it and it was absolutely fine. So we'll put another magazine in. There's already one in the chamber, and we'll chrono it to see what we're getting out of it. Okay, so I'm using 0.2 gram BBs and Nuprol green gas. And here we go. 274, 261, 252, 256, 254, 253, 249, 247, 253, 249, 245, 248, 242, 242, 248, 244, 249, 240, 249 and 239, and we are empty. So guys, what do you get for your 130 quid? You get a slightly different looking 1911 A1 with slightly different sights, a little bit different slow, some vertical grooves on the front for cocking. You get yourself a compensator and quite a nice little 45 ACP chamber. And in the box you also get spare nozzles, you get your patch. And for 130 quid, I don't think that's too bad. I think that's actually a reasonable deal. It's based on old design. It's the typical old school 1911 design. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It seems pretty gas efficient actually. After doing that test, saying, "Oh, I can't finish the magazine," I've since fired it several times, and it's holding out. The gas is lasting a while, so that's really good. I'm really impressed with that. There is a little adjuster I've noticed in the front of the trigger. I haven't worked out what that is yet, but I'll have to have a look at it. So for £130, this is a solid little pistol. Obviously you don't have a rail for any flashlights or anything like that, but then it's the style of pistol that is, you're not going to have it. If you want a 1911 with that, then you're looking at the MEU, things like that. This is more of a classic style gun, but I think it looks really nice, and it comes in all the different options, all the different colours. and obviously you can interchange them and make a beast of your own liking. You can change the grips, because grips for these are dirt cheap, so you can put wood grips on there, you can put 3D printed grips on there, you can have all different designs, so it gives some customization to it. You've got the fact that it's based on an old Tokyo Mirror design, so it means that you can put all different parts in there, so you can put upgraded nozzles, pistons, you know, barrel, hop would be the main one. So yeah, you can do a lot with it in that way. So I actually think for the money, this is a cracking little buy. No, it's not the most accurate out of the box. You know, that's just the way it is. Having said that, it is quite oily, so the barrel could probably do with a good clean and the hot rubber. But that's easily solved. And like I say, it's upgradable, so you can probably do a lot of little bits to it. So all in all, I'm really impressed with this. Holstering them, 1911s I always find a pain to holster, because you always have a habit of pressing the button on the side and losing your mag. But there's ways around it, and there's different holsters you can use. So this, again, it's not the end of the world. You can use it in the Warrior Assault Systems universal holster, although I have had issues in the past with 1911s in that. You have to set it up very carefully. So all in all, I actually think this is really nice. You've got your little trades on the side, you've got your serial number, you've got your 45 ACP. So yeah, it's a nice little pistol, and it's got a real kick to it. It's got a real kick, and it's nice and smooth. So when you cock it, it feels good, it feels nice. I have greased this when I put it back together. I gave it a bit of a greasing, and I tightened up a couple of the screws, like on the compensator. So you've still got a bit of a wobble on there, but it's everything feels a little less rattly than it did. Nice skeletonized hammer. We can half cock it as well, apparently, or full cock it. It's all good. And when you fire it, it's got a real snap to it. So it sounds great. So if you're playing CQB in close quarters in a building, in rooms, it's going to make a real racket. This thing is, that's always, I actually prefer that to a very quiet gun. I think it's more fun to have something that's really loud. So yeah, I like that. I think that's really good. So all in all, guys, this is a cracking little buy. So keep a lookout for it. Look out for the other colours and go for it. Of course, as with all these gas blowback guns, I seem to be having a problem getting magazines for them. So I could do with another couple of mags for this. Same as the PP2K. I can never get any damn mags, or they're all on back order, or I'm still waiting for 2 to come. It's yeah, they're a bit of a nightmare, but yeah, that's the way it goes. So guys, that's it for the VPX. There's not a lot more I can say about it. I have actually got all those old TM parts floating around somewhere, so I might put them all in and just see what it's like, see how much of an improvement it makes. So I know I've got a Prometheus Tightball barrel for it, and well, in my spares I've got loads of maple leaf hot rubbers, and there's actually a new one come out, a new auto booking come out for 2021, so I might put one of those in and give it a try, see what it's like, see if it makes a difference. So keep a lookout. I've got some more videos coming up soon. I've finally got a solution to the holstering problems I had with the B&T USW from ASG. So I've got a holster for it, thanks to some of you guys give me a shout out on that. I have actually got something, so I'll do a little sort of mini review on that so you guys can see it, because it actually works on a number of pistols. So keep a lookout for that. We have got from LCT the new HK33, or should I say LK33. That's coming up very soon. I'm looking forward to seeing that one, because you all know I like a bit of HK goodness in our lives, so that'll be good. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.